Okay, so in this video I'm going to talk about trust, the spiritual lens of trust, and what it means to trust. And to talk about this topic, we first have to talk about why we don't trust. And the reason we don't trust, or the reason I think we don't trust, or haven't trusted in the past, is that there's some part of you that feels threatened by the situation. And because you feel potentially threatened, and by threatened I mean the ego feels threatened, because you feel threatened, you put up walls and you put up barriers to stop yourself from experiencing or potentially experiencing so much pain. And so what does it mean to actually trust? To trust is actually, once again, an undoing process, a stripping down process. And what you are stripping down in this circumstance is you are stripping down the part of you, the part of that ego that gets hurt based on the situation. And so if you can strip down that part of the ego, then you can trust in that particular context or particular situation. Now, if that's a social situation and you don't trust what's coming out of your mouth, maybe you need to learn to accept, and I've been learning to accept, just let the chips fall where they are. If the level of trust is about work, or is about money, or some sense of stability, it has to come from a trust of that you will be okay if the bad outcome happens, if things go to shit. Now, this can be a lot harder if it's coming from security. I think for me that's something I've been contemplating recently, is security. Like, how do you let go of that? Like, let's say I lost my job. That's a lot more scary, you know? It's a lot more scary to lose your job or even quit your job, and let's say you want to try out something else. You want to try a new career or vocation, and there's no guarantee that it will end up well. It will end up the right way. And that's where this almost spiritual or religious trust seems to be so powerful for so many people. You can look at it as a tool for either good or bad. I mean, from the bad context, you can look at extremists who commit awful things, and they have a level of trust that their plans will be fulfilled, in a sense. Now, often that's delusional, but what if some of this mindset is actually useful for you? Which is to have a level of trust in the universe or higher guidance or whatever you want to call it, to help trust that that what will happen is for your good, for your highest good, or for your expansion. Now, this is harder to understand from a logical or rational framework, because the logical rational mind needs reasons and needs some type of like A plus B equals C kind of understanding. And so to really comprehend trust at the deepest level, if we're going from a spiritual context, would mean to understand and to incorporate a new framework or understanding of the world that is not so linear, that is not so rational. It's about acknowledging that things could perhaps happen, that you could perhaps go somewhere, you can meet somebody, and there was a certain reason that had to happen for some other thing to happen, for something other reason to happen. And it's almost like, if you look at it, it's like you can start to understand or interpret the universe as working in your favor. You might be interpreting it negatively, like it's not in your favor because a bad thing happened, but that bad thing might be necessary for a good thing later on, for your growth. So it's like planting trees, and you can't see the tree, but later it might sprout and the tree might be beautiful. And so if you're looking at it from this religious, spiritual framework, I think what they are really saying is to trust is to let go of that ego part, and then finally be okay with whatever happening, and whatever happening giving you what you want in life. So, let me say that another way, because I got confused there. I got thrown off by the environment, people were around me. What I'm saying is, from a spiritual lens, there's two things. One of them is the lack of attachment to the bad thing or good thing happening, just to accept reality as it is. Another thing is to have that belief or trust in the universe that like things are, in a sense, divinely ordained, or things will happen in the right way as they're meant to. I think ultimately they're two sides of the same coin, because if you believe in the divine guidance of the universe, as some Christians might understand it to do, if they don't meditate, it would be more from a like, oh, I believe this. If you came from that framework, it would require you at the ultimate level to let go of your attachment for things happening good or bad. Meanwhile, on the other side, if you let go of your attachments of things appearing good and bad, what will emerge is this divine trust in the universe, spontaneously, although you might not interpret it like that. So that's kind of my perspective on trust and like the two sides of that coin. Let me know what you guys think. Catch you later.
Black and white is come under. Is it bad? Lost in